Well, hello, this is Pamela Bird, your boundaries coach, and let's talk boundaries, shall we? I have people that come to me and they ask me the question, why aren't people honoring my boundaries? For those people that are wondering why other people don't honor your boundaries, I want you to ask yourself, who are you setting those boundaries for? Are you setting it for them or are you setting it for you? When you communicate a boundary to someone, your expectation is they're going to honor those boundaries, right? And when they don't, what happens? We end up getting frustrated. But here's what we got to remember. We got to remember the reason we set that boundary in the first place. And the reason we set that boundary is for us, is for our peace of mind. And if we are counting on someone else to honor a boundary, then we've defeated the purpose or giving ourselves peace of mind. So what does it really matter if someone honors our boundary or not when we're setting it for ourselves? Because remember, we can't control other people. The only person we can control is ourselves and what we do and the decisions we make. So when we come across someone where we've communicated a boundary and they choose not to honor that boundary, we then have to look at ourselves and what can we control about ourselves? What can we change about ourselves? Because we cannot, should not, will not change our boundaries simply because someone doesn't honor it. Now, there are three things you want to keep in mind when it comes to communicating your boundaries. First of all, is you want to consider why you're setting that boundary. Why is there a need to set a boundary? Is it for universal for everybody and you just have to reiterate it to someone or communicate to someone? Or is it because of a certain situation? You have to determine why you're setting that boundary and communicating it. That's the why. The second one, you want to communicate when. Is it the proper time? Timing is everything. You definitely don't want to communicate a boundary at a time when you have high emotions, right? You could be angry, you could be hurt. That is not the time to set a boundary. It's the time to step back and develop a strategy on why you're setting that boundary and how to communicate it. And the last one is how. How are you communicating that boundary? That's going to be key because positioning is everything as well, just like timing. So you want to make sure you've done the work, you've sat down and you've considered all the three things that we're talking about. Why, how, and when to set a boundary. Because once you've done those three things and you are sure that that's what you want to do and this is something that's right for you, that's when you go ahead and you communicate that boundary. Again, if someone doesn't honor that boundary, that's not your problem because the boundary still stands and you're living by that boundary. All right? If you want more information about how to set healthy boundaries, those boundaries that matter to you in your life, go ahead and click over into Facebook, into my private Facebook group. It's called Let's Talk Boundaries. In the meantime, go on over to my website, which is, I'll put the link below. It's called Let's Talk Boundaries, where you can find out more about different situations, about boundaries that are important to you, boundaries that really matter in order for you to live the life that you want to live, that significant life, and you want to begin living life on your terms, on point and on purpose. This is Pamela Bird, your boundaries coach, and let's talk boundaries, shall we?